Can you hear them? Beyond the fire? Beyond the falling skies? The whispers had reached every kingdom. They crossed broken roads where armies once marched. They drifted through ruined villages where only smoke remained. They were carried by merchants, pilgrims, wandering soldiers, and grieving mothers. Everywhere, people spoke of the same man. No one knew his name. No one knew where he had come from. Yet somehow, everyone believed he was still walking. The man himself knew nothing of the legend growing behind him. The morning was cold. Ash fell from the sky like endless snow, covering the world in a blanket of gray. Each step echoed across the abandoned road as the traveler continued north. His cloak was torn by weeks of wind. His boots were worn nearly through. The sword across his back had seen more battles than he cared to remember. Ahead lay another ruined village, another place that had once been someone's home. He had stopped counting them long ago. The silence felt heavier than the smoke. Doors hung open where families had fled. A child's carved horse rested beside an empty doorway. A loaf of bread had turned to stone upon an abandoned table. Life had not ended all at once. It had simply stopped. The traveler picked up the wooden toy. For a long moment he stared at it. Then he placed it carefully upon the windowsill where the morning light could still reach it. A small act. Meaningless, perhaps. Yet somehow, it felt important. As he left the village, he heard footsteps behind him. An old woman stood at the edge of the road, wrapped in a weathered cloak. She had been watching him in silence. "You buried the toy," she said softly. "I only moved it." "You gave someone a place to remember." The traveler looked toward the mountains. "I couldn't save them." "No," she nodded, "but you still stopped." Her words stayed with him long after he continued walking. By evening, he reached a ridge overlooking the northern valleys. The sight before him stole his breath. For miles, the land burned. Entire forests glowed beneath dragonfire. Columns of smoke climbed into the heavens. Far beyond them, enormous shadows crossed the crimson sky. Dragons. Even from this distance, their roars rolled across the mountains like thunder. The world seemed impossibly small beneath their wings. He made camp beneath the broken remains of an ancient watchtower. Its walls had stood for centuries. Now only fragments remained. As darkness settled across the valley, he lit a small fire. Its flame looked fragile against the endless glow on the horizon. He stared into it for hours. His thoughts returned to the people he had passed. The frightened child, the grieving mother, the old woman. How many more waited for someone who would never come? That night, he dreamed. He stood alone beneath a sky without stars. Around him stretched an endless plain covered in ash. Then came the voices. Thousands of them, not shouting, not crying, singing. The same haunting harmony that had spread across the kingdoms, the choir of the world. Among the countless voices, one rose above the others. "Do not let the fire consume you." He turned. No one stood behind him, yet the words felt real, older than memory itself. He awoke before sunrise. The fire had nearly burned out. Beyond the eastern hills, the first light struggled through the smoke. He climbed to the top of the ruined tower. Below him stretched the broken world. He whispered into the wind, "Why me?" Only silence answered. Then, deep beneath the mountains, he felt it. Not a sound, not a voice, a calling. Something ancient stirred beneath stone and fire. Patient, waiting. It was neither kind nor cruel. It simply called. Fear settled heavily upon him. He could still turn back. No one knew where he was. No one expected anything from him. He could disappear into the endless roads like countless others before him. No one would remember. Then he remembered the old woman's words. "You still stopped." Perhaps courage was not born from certainty. Perhaps it began with choosing to take one more step. Even when every reason said not to. He drew his sword. The worn steel reflected the burning sky. He looked toward the mountains. Whatever waited beyond them had been calling long before he was born. If no king remained, if no army could stand, if no hero had answered, then someone had to begin. His grip tightened. "I will answer the call." The wind carried his words across the valley. No soldiers heard them. No kingdoms witnessed them. But somewhere beyond the mountains, something listened. As the first rays of dawn broke through the smoke, the lone traveler began to climb the forgotten northern pass. Behind him lay the ashes of the old world. Before him waited dragons, forgotten truths, and a destiny that would shape the fate of every kingdom. Beyond the mountains, the truth awaited.